No matter how strongly we hold an idea, or an emotional attachment, or even a vital desire, we find that over time, any of these can be shaken, disrupted, or even converted into its opposite. The various parts of the human instrument, the body, the life force, and the mind, are all inconstant and variable, are subject to pressure, to changes of circumstances, or even just the maturation process of the individual as he grows, learns, and expands his horizons. The question then arises as to how one can achieve an unshakable faith if that faith depends on the stability of these instruments. Dogmas or principles held by the mind tend to be brittle and thus either become fanatical in nature and thus not subject to receptivity and growth, or else can be shattered when the right pressure is applied. We are all aware of situations where love has turned into hatred, or where friends have turned into enemies, based on perceptions or circumstances that challenge our faith on the objects of our love or friendship. The Dhammapada addresses the issue of faith. The aphorism below refers to Mara, who is the embodiment of illusion. Illusion adheres to the external life and our instruments of interacting with that life. The mother's commentary on this aphorism makes it clear that unshakable faith is not based in the mind or the emotions or even a particular teaching. The faith that is unshakable is that which originates with the soul, the psychic being, which holds the true purpose and potentiality of the individual. Quote, just as the strong wind has no hold upon a mighty rock, so Mara has no hold upon a man who is endowed with unshakable faith and who wastes not his energies. End quote. The Dhammapada. The mother notes, quote, what the Dhammapada means when it speaks of faith is not at all the belief in a dogma or a religion. It is not even faith in the teaching of the master. It is faith in one's own possibilities, the certitude that whatever the difficulties, whatever the obstacles, whatever the imperfections, even the negations in the being, one is born for realization and one will realize. The will must never falter, the effort must be persevering, and the faith unshakable. Then, instead of spending years to realize what one has to realize, one can do it in a few months, sometimes even in a few days, and if there is sufficient intensity, in a few hours. That is to say, you can take a position within yourself, and no bad will that attacks the realization will have any more power over you than the storm has over a rock. After that, the way is no longer difficult. It becomes extraordinarily interesting. End quote. Reference, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Growing Within, The Psychology of Inner Development, Chapter 3, Growth of Consciousness, Basic Requisites, pages 43 to 44.